Hi guys, so today I'm gonna try to film a sit down video with you guys. I know this space is pretty blank and like a mess here, but I just moved in, so I haven't really figured out the whole apartment yet. But I hope you guys will bear with me and hopefully you like the video. So I've seen a lot of Pandora Tag videos just kind of explaining your favorite things and like what type of things you love and that kind of idea. And so I wanted to create a tag video that would kind of hopefully get the attention of Pandora a little bit, as long as people continue to participate, which I don't know if I can have that happen, but I hope it will. I've tried contacting Pandora different times with just information or whatnot, and you never receive an email back. And personally, it's just a little, I wouldn't say frustrating, but from my understanding, Pandora really wants like the customer's opinion, whether that not be with suggestions or just other things, or even questions for that matter. And so I don't know, I thought this might be a good way to kind of get the attention. I'm calling the tag 10 important questions, constructive criticism, what to keep and what to change. Now I am gonna kind of look to the side just because I wrote down the questions, so if you do see me doing that, that is why. But this isn't a bashing video at all. It's really about coming together, hearing other people's opinions, especially those who love Pandora, and kind of creating a space that hopefully, like I said, Pandora will eventually see and just take into consideration. I don't think everything that's going to be stated is going to happen, even if they did see it, and who knows if they will. But I think it's just kind of a cool place we can all connect, kind of hear different ideas, and potentially maybe see those ideas come to life if Pandora ever sees it. So I thought it'd be kind of cool. So I'm gonna say so a lot. I'm sorry. It's something I'm really trying to work on. But number one, is your favorite and worst shopping experience at a Pandora store? So I'm gonna start with my favorite to start this video off on a good note. And that is when I met my current go-to essay. And I was kind of wandering around for about a week. I had a time that I was kind of staying in this area. And I went into the store, just had some time to kill, and it wasn't too busy that day. And so I really got the chance to start talking to her and kind of building off my idea. She listened to my whole backstory because, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I'm creating a bracelet for my niece and I. And so she was listening to me about that, and we were just talking about new charms coming out. She was showing me things that I wasn't aware of, and we just really clicked and bonded. So she really makes the shopping experience great for me. I enjoy and look forward to going to see her in store, and it builds that kind of experience. And I love when she calls me, is this is coming out, or when she's really excited about something, because it makes me look at it more than I probably would have before. And I love that. I love kind of building off people and kind of pushing your limit a little bit. And I think that's one of the reasons I love Pandora videos, watching online and on YouTube, because I tend to see things that maybe I wouldn't have really taken a second look at, and then looking at it, you're just oh, maybe I could use this, or maybe this is a really cool way to do something like that. So I like building like that. I would say my worst shopping experience at a Pandora store is kind of my worst experience when it comes to shopping in general. This happens at a lot of locations, especially with upscale jewelry. And it's when you just go into a store and people kind of look at you why are you here? And this tends to happen when I'm in loungewear or casual wear, or I'm just, I look like crap and I'm I'm gonna go shopping because I love shopping, and it just makes me feel better to walk around a mall, whether or not it's just to walk around or just see all the pretty things. And I enjoy that, and I'm sure some of you have been through the same boat, and they just look at you why are you here? You're not going to spend any money, and then you feel awkward because you feel you should buy something or leave, and it's just the worst. It's the worst feeling. So I know it's happened a few times at different Pandora locations, and it's happened at a ton of other stores, so it's not it's a new thing, but it would be nice if people didn't do that. I guess it's the assumption, and I know people work on commission, so I get the idea of you want to work with people that are potentially going to buy, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Number two is, what created your love for Pandora? Now, I love this question that I put in here because it kind of gives us a backstory of everybody, and I love that idea. So I will say it's kind of a broad question for me though, because I love jewelry. I've collected jewelry since I was little. I've had this keen like attention to jewelry. It's been my accessory go-to. I would say that most people have like one thing that they tend to kind of get drawn to. And so mine is jewelry, and it always has been. So whenever I go somewhere or I'm traveling, like my souvenir, like materialistic souvenir, is a piece of jewelry. So with Pandora, I've always kind of been drawn to it in the sense of liking it and looking at it or noticing it at a mall. And when it came down to picking something that I could create for my niece, I think is when I got really involved in Pandora. And that's because I wanted something that I could continuously build on and that would be meaningful. And she's so little right now, guys, that I feel like it's so premature, but I was originally thinking of like a pearl necklace and getting like a pearl per year and creating like this strand. So like when she turns 16, that she'll have like her first strand of pearls. But I thought about the complications with that and not getting matching pearls, and it looks all different. And what if 16 doesn't fit around her neck? I don't want there to be gaps, you know, just different things like that you start thinking about and you see the problems. And then I was thinking about Pandora, and I was like, you know what, this is a great option because you can use charms and use beads to represent different things, different experiences, rather than just having something that you got for that experience but doesn't really represent that. So I thought it was a great option, and I think that what's really pulled me in. And then when I started kind of looking at those, and then Disneyland opened the Pandora store in the park, which I was just like, so that collaboration between the two of them and like the continuous Disney charms really pulled me in personally, because Disney is and has always been a huge part of my life. It's just crazy how many Disney trips, let alone Disney things, and now being a Disney annual pass holder has really created in my life. So I would say that's the answer to that. Number 3, what is your current favorite from Pandora? So I will say overall, in like a broad sense of the idea, is just the spring collection from 2019. I love everything that I've seen. I haven't seen it in person. It just came out a couple days ago in the United States. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to like tangibly feel and look at everything, but I really tend to like spring collections from that Pandora produces. I don't know if it's just the light colors and airiness or what it is, and I love butterflies and garden stuff and flowers, so that could be why, but I really like this collection. When it comes to a single item that I have, it would be this side, my rose open bangle, and this would be because sentimentally, my boyfriend got it for me for our 5-year anniversary, and I wear it every day. I love it, and I would say it's interesting too because I wasn't really drawn to it. I did mention it to him that obviously I wanted it, and so that's why he ended up picking this. But originally I didn't think I would like the open bangle because have always been with jewelry a kind of closed bangle or enclosed bracelet type of person, but this fits great. I never have a problem with it coming off, which was my main concern, and I wear it every day, like I said. Normally I wear these together, but I knew I was going to show you this, so I wanted you to see it by itself. Charm wise, currently love this little guy. It is the Frog Prince. I don't know if you guys have seen my previous video or not. I did just get him pre-loved. I haven't had a chance to test him yet to see if he is real for sure, 100%. Hopefully going to do that today and see, but he seems real to me, so I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, because I love him. So cute, just fits me, I guess, so to speak. Number 4 is, what is something you like but this could make it better? Now this is kind of a hard question for me. I decided on 2 different ideas, and one is the extra dangles on things. An example of this would be with the new watering can for the spring 2019 collection. The little watering can, and it has that extra like dangle on it on the bottom. I just don't think it's necessary. I think it kind of draws away from the watering can itself, and personally, like I said, I haven't seen it in person yet, so I don't know. I'm like still debating if it would be something I would purchase, but just from looking at the photo and having that extra dangle, like I don't want to. And Another example would be the 2018 Scarecrow that came out, and then it has that dangle that says Love Guard. I literally just want to cut it off. I want to take pliers and just somehow remove it. And I didn't purchase that charm specifically for that reason. I think the Scarecrow is so cute, but that extra dangle just throws me off. The only exception I've pretty much made to this is the Cupid charm for 2019. I did end up purchasing that one because I really love Valentine's Day, to be honest. I think that's the only reason, because it still bugs me. That like hanging heart still bugs me. It really does. But I looked over it on that one. But I would say just those extra things, like the little rainbow charm that's in the new spring. It's like a circle rainbow. I can't remember the name, but it has like that extra dangle also. It's just kind of like include it on the charm or include it in the name. It doesn't, I don't think that needs to be there. It's also creating not only like a like bigger charm, which I really like the small charms, and I think Pandora in general is going in a direction of creating larger pieces, which I mean, it's more material for your money, so I understand why some people like that, and some people like bigger statement pieces too, so I get it, but I personally like small cutesy things. So that would be one. My second idea is with the reflection. So I'm pretty sure this came out with the spring line. I don't know if I just saw it in other pictures, but I'm pretty sure it's with the spring collection. Is that new reflections bracelet that has kind of strands. It's like 4 strands rather than like a single piece of mesh like material. And I think what would be really cool is if they did is create other charms that, because my understanding is the clips will go over all 4 strands to create like a cohesive piece. And if they took that and kind of built off of it and did like ones that go on 2 strands and ones that go on 3 strands, so you can create kind of like a dimension and have smaller charms as well, I think that would be epic. Like, I haven't gotten into the reflection line myself. I'm personally trying to stay away from it. One, because I'm not like 100% in love with it, but also because I don't need to get into another thing of buying Pandora. I already can't stop myself from a lot of other purchases, which I need to back down a little bit, but that's a different story. Needless to say, I think that would be really cool, and it would probably get me to purchase the line only because like I said, I like smaller things. I like being able to create that dimension. Like I could see a huge butterfly with like a smaller butterfly and a little butterfly, like kind of coming off of it, like creating like this idea that it's flying. I don't know. I think something like that would be really cool. What type of charms do you wish Pandora would make? Again, that reflection idea I think kind of goes in that smaller spacers, like I mentioned, kind of just smaller things, but also they used to create a lot of small spacers, and a lot of this you would see kind of in the two-tone, but also in like silver and gold itself. But I feel like I said, Pandora's just been getting bigger and you're having more beads. Like even the Seven Dwarfs Disney spacer is a huge piece. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that charm, but it's big and it's not, you know, it's not, to me, it's not a spacer. And it would be nice to have those so you're not having such a large piece all around to create kind of a dimension. Also, something I would love to see, and I think I mentioned this previously in a video as well, but the Snow White storybook that they have with the apple bail, and it has like the little book. I think it would be amazing to see that in either the other princesses or other Disney movies, storybooks, complete. Like overall, I think having a collection of that would be amazing. I think it would bring more color to the bails and still have like a classic look. And I love the snap on it, like the little storybook open. I just think it's so cute, and I think you could build so many things on that. So that would be amazing, and I would love to see that. Number 6, what is an idea for Pandora that would make your shopping experience even better? And this to me is kind of a broad statement, but the website. Honestly, it needs some help, and it's mainly in the sense of your wish list and just kind of other ideas. But the wish list itself is, you know, it's, sorry, I'm blanking because I have like a notification come up on my phone, so I'm like, stop, go away. But the wish list, when you click on something to add, it takes you to that page, and then when you go back, it doesn't go back to where you were on the list. You have to start all over your scrolling. And I know it's possible to do this because I've seen it on other websites, I've done it on other places, and So it's probably not too hard of a fix for them, but making it to where it goes back to where you are and not backward to like the top of the page. Because when you're going through all the charms, there's over 900 charms. And so you're scrolling and it has to reload and scrolling and then it says show another 150 and like scrolling. And it's this huge process. And for people who are either new to Pandora and want to start creating a wish list, or those people who just have never done it before, like me, I wanted kind of a visual process. So I personally have started doing this or trying to, and it's just like a constant scrolling, like you're wasting so much time. And it just makes me want to stop. Like I've literally I started going through like the whole charm section, but even when you go into these subcategories, like you're still having to scroll, and there's only 400 charms, you know, in like each section. It's a pain in the butt. So that would be the main thing. I think what would also be amazing is if they created a space within the website that shows all the old charms, because I know a lot of people, and like creating like a list that would be like a jewelry box list. So you can have like what you already have and see that, and then see what your wish list is and kind of compare, and so you can match things. And I think that would be a really cool option, and also a way that people can kind of see what they're used to be. And I know there's no way to purchase that necessarily through the website because it's old stuff. They don't have it anymore. They're retired pieces. But having that, I think, would be really great for collectors, especially those who have so many, because the people who keep coming back are collectors. You're creating a moments bracelet. And an even more reason for it, which I just thought of, is because like for me, like I'm creating for my niece. I know there's other people out there creating for other family members, and it's like, oh crap, what did I get them last year? And I know, I mean, you tend to remember, you know, the people if you're only doing one or two extra, but for those who like are creating bracelets for a lot of family members, you can't remember what they have. And so if they have a way to just say, oh yeah, I have this one, it's in my jewelry box, and you can see what's in their jewelry box, so you don't repurchase something for them. It's an easy way, so like people can look at it, you can look at it, you can share it with other people. I just think it would be such a good option. Let's see. Number 7 is, what is something that Pandora doesn't offer but you wish they would? Again, that whole option for like the jewelry, a jewelry box, or a what you have section. Also jewelry boxes in general. Now, obviously Pandora makes jewelry boxes. They have a wide variety of travel cases that are promotional pieces, and they used to actually sell certain boxes, and I have one of them. But they're small, and yeah, they fit like 1 to 2 bracelets, potentially 3. I know it's meant for the one that I have is meant for 3, and I know there's other ones out there, but I guess, so I know there's another thing too, is Europe has this other box that's available, and it will be coming to the United States, and I've seen pictures of it, and I think, I don't know what it looks like in person, obviously it's coming, but it's a single box. Like there's not, I mean, I think it has drawers or something, but you can't add to it. You can't change it. It's a box, and there's a small one and a big one, but that's kind of not my point. Is my best example of this is the Stackers jewelry boxes. And that would be in the sense of, you can pick trays that fit what you have and create a box. And I think if Pandora took this idea and created a Pandora specific version of it, that it would be amazing. And even if they just did one size and not like a small version, a mid version, and a large version, but created one size with different types of trays, it would just be perfect. Because those of you probably watching this video, or collectors of Pandora in general, you are most likely collecting for multiple bracelets. And we say, oh, we're gonna start with one, or oh, we want one. And you're collecting a whole, you end up collecting and collecting, and it doesn't stop. And even for those that would only collect for one bracelet, or don't have the means to create more than one bracelet, or just starting on one bracelet, you would have the option of having one box, and you wouldn't have to have multiple, because you can start with one, and then if your collection does grow, then you can add more. And I think that's what appealing to the Stackers boxes. However, though they fit the Pandora jewelry very well, I feel like if Pandora made one specifically for Pandora, it would be even better because it would be made for those. And what would be good about it too is you can add other things and add other types of jewelry if you don't have a lot of other jewelry in your collection, and kind of put it together. Or for those who have troll beads and whatnot. So I think building on that, like an idea would be, for example, is, you know, in the travel cases, there's those little kind of round centers and you put your bracelet around it. People in collection videos that I've seen on YouTube, at least, you're stacking your bracelets in drawers because you just have so many, and it's creating, I mean, they're hitting each other constantly. And yes, they might do that like on your wrist when you're wearing them, but you don't want that to continuously happen, especially while you're storing your pieces, because it creates wear. And, you know, I don't mind to wear a worn bracelet, but I don't want it happening just because of how I'm storing it. And so if they had like a tray that had 6 of those, so you're putting 6 flat created bracelets on one tray, I mean, there's an option right there. Or having a tray literally just for charm bars, or having a tray that you can put like one bracelet, one necklace, a couple pairs of earrings, and some rings, or just a ring tray. Just different options that for those who want to create more or like collect more. And that way, again, too, if you can only buy one tray, if that's all you need. And so I think it gives a variety and an option to add and to create rather than be limited to a certain space. Because I personally have this problem. And like I said, I'm a huge jewelry collector. So like I have a jewelry armoire that like from floor to like 3 feet, and it's full. That none of my Pandora fits in there because it's full of other things. And so having something that I could create and stack specifically for Pandora would be amazing. But I mean, in general, that idea for other things would be wonderful too. But I've gone on and on. Another thing would be a magazine. And this is kind of going off the idea that they're getting rid of catalogs, and who knows, nobody really knows for sure if they're getting rid of the catalogs completely or whatnot is actually happening. However, creating a magazine would be amazing. And this could either be a seasonal thing, for that matter, it could be a yearly thing, you know, who knows how many, but creating something that would either show the new charms, show what's currently in stock, potentially different years. Like one catalog could have the first year of all Pandora items, just so, I mean, because people who are collectors and interested want to know these things. And I think it would be really cool. Plus having information, like highlighting a store that in each catalog, magazine, highlighting different creators within the team, like through Pandora, like the company itself, have history on not only how Pandora started or who, like the company owner, or, you know, just different things like that would be really cool. And I think it would kind of engage people on the daily. And then, you know, just so many options. I'm just like, I just want to create it. I think you guys kind of get the idea though. My last and final thing for this question is store events or area events. And this is kind of a long shot in what Pandora might actually do. But I know they have like marketing events and they have new release events for socialites and things like that. But it would be nice to create something that is specific for the consumer. And I think the idea around this, I mean, ideally it would be a free event. However, I just don't see that being possible. So what I see happening is you pay $100 for the entrance. And I know that's steep for some people, but I mean, those who are really collecting Pandora, like in a lot of it, you put that into your charms anyway. So having an event that you like pay $100, and it's an event you go to, lunch, dinner, something like that, you know, whatever time they find to be the best in a certain area. It can either be put on by Pandora itself in different areas like San Francisco, LA, I don't know, a main area in Canada, but like Ontario, British Columbia, you know, like kind of bigger locations, or it could be in individual stores do this for their higher end, you know, people who are purchasing all the time, but also offer it to those who purchase, who are just regular purchasing. Would you be interested in this? If you are, this is what we're looking for. You know, have maybe a VIP list of who you'd really want to be there, because you, I mean, ideally it's a way to, you know, sell, but also, you know, offer it to everybody. And it could be like a dinner setup. You have like a whole table full of, you know, a specific setup, a beautiful layout, you know, have work with different people who can do that, have like a name placement for each person who is going. And then instead of maybe having a goodie bag, it would be great to have a goodie bag, but have like a specific charm that is made for the event, and it like ranges around $50. So pretty much the $100 you spent, you're getting $50 back in a special charm for the event. And then, you know, you're pretty much spending $50 for the setup and food or whatever. And they could have like a drink bar. What would be amazing at something like this is to have like a PowerPoint or someone speaking about Pandora, or someone from the company who comes and, you know, addresses people. Have a fashion show with new pieces, you know, give a shopping experience. Because I mean, personally, I would love to go to an event where I can sit at a table with a whole bunch of people who love Pandora and talk about Pandora all night long. Like, that would be a dream for me. And I know that there's other people out there who would love that and love that experience. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's not at every store location. Maybe it's just kind of in the bigger cities where people who do purchase are willing to go. But personally, that would be like a dream come true. And I think it would be so amazing. And it combines into social media as well, and creating that for people who, you know, do take advantage of that. And it'd be more of a, like I said, they do have the socialites go to different events and whatnot, so maybe not necessarily on that side, but the regular consumer putting out that information, I just think it would be really cool. Now that I've gone on and on, that's my longest answer though, I promise you guys. Number 8 is, what would you bring back if you could? And that would be two-tone items. And I feel like everyone feels this way with the non-plated gold, but real full gold. I think that'd be amazing. Also, again, like I've mentioned, small spacers, I would love to see them. Number 9, if a friend asked you what they should stay away from, what would it be? Now, this is kind of a complicated question in the sense of, I assume that this would be somebody who's new to Pandora, doesn't really know Pandora enough to have their own decision, I guess, or opinion on this. So I would say 1, probably stay away from things that are not moments. And this is only because if they're just starting, I assume they want something that they can build on or something that they can grow with. And so I would say something from the Moments collection, so not something else. However, personally, I would say to also stay away from the slide bracelets, the ones that are, I know they just came out with a spring version of this in like a bangle, so I haven't seen those. I don't know how they're gonna feel, but the regular classic with the slide pull. And the reason why, and I haven't heard anything about this happening, so this is all based on my assumption. So, and it's still, even though I have this assumption, I'm still thinking about getting one, but, so keep that in mind. But it's the fact that I obviously, when I wear my stuff, I wear it on the daily and I am slamming my wrist or I'm sitting at a computer. So you're pushing up on your bracelets. I don't know if you can kind of get my visual here. You're pushing up on your bracelets. Now, when you think about rings, when even gold rings, like you have pure gold rings, you're sitting there pushing on them on the constant, and you're like pushing it up, you're lifting. So it's creating this kind of a dent. So now if you think of that, and that happens in most jewelry, guys. It happens in real gold, fake things, silver pieces, you know, not everything. There's some things that are really hefty and they don't budge. But my experience, you know, metal over time, it does form, it creates a shape to it. And you're just doing this naturally with like wear. And so I just think of, okay, you're doing this to your bracelet constantly. Now imagine if this is a slide pull bracelet, and you know how it kind of has like that lip in it. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. It has kind of a lip in it. So you're pushing on those constantly down. It's going to create a crease in that bracelet. Now, like I said, I have never heard anyone say this. I've never gotten this review from anybody. I don't personally have the bracelet. This is just what I think could happen. And I think it will end up creating a dent and creating a push if you're constantly wearing that bracelet. If it's something that you put on occasionally, or you're just creating a bracelet that, you know, you could add to your wrist on like a special occasion like Christmas during that month, you know, it's not going to have as much wear. But I have this feeling that that bracelet will create or have some problems in it unless it ends up over time. I mean, obviously the classic bracelets, the classic here, this creates some give. Like this is a new one, so it still like doesn't have a lot of give, where my other more worn one, it's more flimsy. So I would say that, you know, hopefully that happens and it doesn't create that kind of dent in it from the push, but I just don't know. And so I would say staying away from that one as your first piece, because normally your first piece you want to keep forever, and that's just kind of one of those things. So that would be my answer. Number 10, and the last question on the list, is if a friend was asking you what to get first, what would you pick? And this goes off the last question as well. I would get something from the Moments collection. And again, that's because you can build off of it. You can add to it. I personally would also stay away from the mesh bracelets and the bangles. I would go with a literal classic type of bracelet. If I were to pick what I would suggest, that would be it, only because I think they're going to, they can stay in anyone's collection forever. And to be honest, Pandora most likely will never stop selling the Moments collection. It's something that you look at Pandora, that's what you think of as Moments, and I don't think they would stop unless, you know, they weren't creating anymore in general. And so the other collections, it's really, you don't like Reflections and Essence. Yes, they keep building on it. Yeah, Reflections new. Essence, they do keep building on. But if they were to get rid of something, it's most likely not going to be the Moments collection. It would be something else. The other thing is too, is if a friend was asking and they're just getting one piece, they don't look at adding to it later, it was just, I want one and done. I would personally say the Essence bracelet with one charm. I think they look great when other people have like 5 or 4 charms on there, or 3. Personally, I love this just as it is with one charm. Again, I have Mickey. I don't know if you can see that very well. I just have Mickey there. And I think it's a great complete bracelet. The Moments, you know, if people have the funds to fill a whole bracelet, if you're one and done kind of thing, awesome. But normally you're probably buying 1 or 2 charms, the stoppers, and then the, you know, maybe a safety chain if you only have that little on there. But it doesn't necessarily look complete. And you know, it's chunkier. Like if you're adding this to layers with different bracelets, it's a chunky piece. It's more of a statement piece. This can be added to Moments and other statement pieces. It can also be added to someone who likes more dainty and not as much of a pop, just something that they can wear every day that's a little bit lighter. And so I think this would be a good option for someone like that. And just kind of someone who's, like I said, I'm a collector. I can add this to a whole stack of bracelets on an arm, and I can add it to have it by itself, and it just looks just right. Not, again, not that a Moments wouldn't, but I feel like this is more of a statement type of item. Overall, oh my goodness, guys, that was a lot longer video than I expected, but that is my list. Again, I hope everyone participates. I would love to see, like I said, my intent of this video isn't to bash or hate or anything on Pandora. It's really just to put constructive criticism out there, in the sense of hopefully one day someone from Pandora will see this and just take in our ideas and take them into consideration. That's really the whole point. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you will also do a tag like this. I would love to see everybody's opinions and ideas. I think that's really just the best part about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.